My name is Saachi and today's story is a classic. It's called Little Red Riding Hood. In a little cottage, Little Red Riding Hood lived with her mother. Her mother came up to her and said, Granny is ill. Will you go to the center of the woods to visit her? Here is a bag of sweets. You know Granny loves them. Take them. Go to the woods. Please, Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood nodded, took the basket and went into the woods, walking. Suddenly, the big bad wolf that was hidden in the bushes spoke to the little girl. Hello, little girl. Whither away so hurriedly? And where might you be going today? Good day, Mr. Wolf. I'm off to my granny's house. She lives in the middle of the woods. Oh, really? And what's in that basket, may I ask? Oh, the basket? Well, they're sweets for my granny. Little girl, come with me and I will show you some beautiful things. Come with me, little girl. Mother said not to stray, not to have a small delay, and not to be misled. Oh, really? Your mother said all that? Well, ignore your mother. Ignore her, please. Just come with me. One path would be so boring. I'll show you so many things. Grandmother. Those old and aging crisp bones. Then something fresh on the palate. Tender and fresh. You have no idea what you feel when you're talking to your meal. Seeing all these beautiful flowers, Little Red Riding Hood was tempted to get a fresh bouquet for her grandmother. Mother said not to stray, still I suppose a small delay. Granny would like a fresh bouquet. Little Red Riding Hood, completely distracted by the beautiful flowers, sat down to give her granny a fresh bouquet. But this was all a part of the evil big bad wolf's plan, leaving the girl to play and mix the flowers to make a bouquet. The wolf quietly crept away. The wolf went to the girl's granny's house. He opened the door. He found the girl's granny and he threw her into the cupboard and locked her up. First, he dressed himself up. He opened the cupboard and he devoured the little girl's granny. He crept into the bed and he wore the blanket. And pretending to sleep, he began to wait for the little girl. Meanwhile, Little Red Riding Hood, after collecting a beautiful bouquet for her grandmother, she went into the grandmother's house, opened the bedroom door and said, Granny, Granny, look, I've got you such a beautiful bouquet. And my mummy sent me with some yummy snacks and sweets. I know you love sweet things, Granny. Come on, Granny, come on. Wake up, wake up. The wolf creepily removed his blanket and said, Hello, little girl, my dear granddaughter. How are you today? Little Red Riding Hood stared and stared at her grandmother. She couldn't think what had happened to her grandmother. Grandmother, what sharp ears you have. All the better to hear you with, sweetheart, said the wolf. Grandmother, grandmother, what a funny nose you have. All the better to smell you with, sweetheart, said the grandmother again. And she smiled. My grandmother, what sharp and ferocious teeth you have. The wolf threw off his blanket and said, All the better to eat you with, little girl, he said, and he jumped onto the girl and devoured her. The wolf slowly fell asleep. He was well fed. Grrr, grrr. And then bang, badoom! The door opened and a hunter stood there with an angry scowl on his face. Oh no, you don't, you big bad wolf. You have escaped from me millions of times and you have eaten and harmed many people. And now I shall kill you. This is the end, the hunter yelled as he cut open the wolf's stomach. Granny and Little Red Riding Hood stumbled out. Oof! Thank you, kind hunter. Thank you so much, Granny and Little Red Riding Hood said at the same time. And then they opened the basket and ate a giant, marvelous cake and lived happily ever after. Thank you. Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. And don't talk to strangers.